Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms. And Sam was not available for this preview, and I was itching to put up a preview to a preview. So I grabbed one of my closest Bengal fan friends. This is a show by fans for fans. So I roped in my friend Heath here, who is going to join me to do this preview to preview, and it's a preview jungle talk. So we're going to do this. Hoo day, everybody.
Hoo day, everybody.
Hoo day. All right. So, Heath, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself? You're from the Ohio area, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Dayton, Ohio originally. Moved to Phoenix middle of my freshman year and came all the way out to LA and been out here for about 28 years, but still bleed orange and black, and met Mark a number of years ago. And here we are. My son and I, my 17-year-old son and I are so excited. We've been watching every game together. It's been the Bungles for years, as we all know. Misery loves company, but here we are, and we're going to the Super Bowl. Who would have thought?
Yeah, no, I was so excited because I sat here and I'm prepping for trial tomorrow, which is why I didn't put anything up earlier this week. I literally worked 80 hours, and I just said, oh my gosh, we're a week away from the Super Bowl. We're in the Super Bowl. It really hit me today when somebody tweeted out they were all upset that there were no Bengals in the Pro Bowl. And the reason there's no Bengals in the Pro Bowl is because we're in the Super Bowl. And I tweeted out, and I said, there were 3 Bengals elected to the Pro Bowl. But they're not going. It's not that nobody, because he was saying, I can't believe it. It's disrespect not having anybody there. Well, they're not supposed to be there. So
absolutely.
And that's where it kind of hurt me. It was like, oh my gosh, yeah, there's no Bengals in the Pro Bowl because we're playing next week. So want to touch on just a couple things. We're just going to have a real casual discussion. Like I said, I was just so excited about the game next week. So I saw in some of the stats last week that Burrow had a 96 quarterback rating on third down. That's unbelievable. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we won. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was Apple. I talked about good apple, bad apple. He did make that pass interference penalty, which gave him the ball right before half at the goal line. But then he did make the tackle to keep Tyreek Hill out. And I failed to mention that in our video. So I think, we've been hard on Apple throughout the year, and we've also said some nice things. And I figured, hey, I've got to set the record straight there. And the other thing I read, which is interesting, was it talked about in overtime, the tip ball of Jesse Bates. I heard that he had seen that exact route prior to that. And that's why he was able to drop back in coverage with Von Bell and make the tip ball. It was nearly same formation and same route that he had seen before. And he immediately read it and made the tip ball. And that's where, we basically reversed the coin flip for overtime. So those were just
absolutely.
A few. Yeah.
And absolutely. But Mark, that's exactly why people watch film. And that tells you that this team is watching films. They want to be the best.
Yeah.
And it shows when you go from worst to first, God willing, worst to first, here we are.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. So there was a couple nuggets I wanted to throw out there. And I know that these aren't based in anything. It's just kind of a, universe kind of thing. But, 20 years ago today, Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl against the Rams. So I just kind of, everybody, if you heard Burrow, and we're going to talk about this, Burrow on the Let's Go show with Tom Brady on Monday, he was saying, I see a lot of you and me, and there was a lot of that. So if Burrow is in fact the next Tom Brady, I mean, here it is. There's the first parallel in the careers. They both can get their first Super Bowl against the same team. So I kind of like that nugget. You had an interesting quote from you sent that to me earlier this week. I know it's gone around about Whitworth making a comment.
I'm just gonna read it real quick. I walked away from that day I spent with him thinking that, wow, there's the next Peyton Manning. This kid is 2 years in the league, and arguably he hasn't even played 2 full seasons, as we all know,
right?
Because of the surgery and the injury. I mean, it's crazy. You talk about Tom Brady and you talk about Joe Burrow. Well, let's go back and look at college. Michigan versus Ohio State. I'm a diehard Buckeye fan from the state of Ohio, and you're talking about a late round pick. You're talking about the first pick in the draft. So it's interesting comparisons. But here we are, no matter what we have to say.
Yeah, and this is 40 years since Super Bowl 16. since the Kenny Anderson. We're 56 and we were in Super Bowl 16. And the last thing I want to remind everybody, and you all know it, earlier this week, we entered the Chinese New Year, and it is the year of the tiger.
Year of the tiger.
Year of the tiger. So all that stuff, I mean, you can't ignore any of that. And I know it has nothing to do with the X's and O's of football or anything. It's just stuff that we like to throw out there. But still, I thought it was worth mentioning. A couple other bits. The Cincinnati schools have already announced they're going to be closed Monday following the Super Bowl. So they're already saying, you know what? Win or lose, these guys, it's East Coast time. So, let's give everybody the day off school. So that's already started. I want to go back and talk about the appearance of Joe Burrow on the Let's Go show with Tom Brady, because one of the things that was really interesting was Burrow told him that they were talking about how he got sacked 9 times and about how he pops up right away. And Brady was commenting, that really reminds me of me. And he said, when I was in middle school, I remember watching a game against the Bills, he told Brady, where you got rocked. And he said, your helmet flew off. You went into the slide and you got hit before you got to the ground. There was a flag thrown. He said, you got hit so hard, your helmet flew off. He goes, you sprang right back up and grabbed your helmet and went out and played. And he said that inspired him. And the funny thing was, Brady immediately remembers. You won't think these players remember. Burrow's in middle school. So this happened early in Brady's career. And he goes, Nate Clemens. He knew exactly who hit him. There was no question about it. But it was interesting hearing Burrow tell Brady that, hey, I watched this play when I was in middle school and you inspired me. One of the reasons why I always make a point of springing up right away is because he remembers seeing this play and he admired Tom Brady growing up. I know we all know he's really followed Drew Brees, but he obviously, is a fan and followed Tom Brady. I thought that was great. Great story.
It's interesting. If I'm not mistaken, Nate Clemens went to Ohio State. So it'd be interesting to go back and look. I have to go back and take a look when we're done talking and see. But I think Nate Clemens may have gone to Ohio State.
Okay.
So Ohio State versus Michigan. And I know that Joe actually won a championship at LSU, but, I feel as if, he got his start at Ohio State. So that's why I say it. Another thing I want to mention, Mark, people keep asking me, I've never met a Bengals fan. I said, I've been a Bengals fan since I was born. No, there's no chance. So this lamp that you can see over my shoulder here was in my son's room. So I went and got it for the show today. I mean, that tells you how old that lamp is from the original Bengals helmet. And that's how long I've been a fan. And I like I said before, I'm so excited trying to figure out how to, grab 2 tickets because I can't go without my little buddy and, we'll see what happens. But here in LA, it's not like we have to deal with hotels and airfare. So we'll see if we can get it.
Unfortunately, the other team their fan base has the same situation, so that's why the ticket prices have didn't help us on the ticket pricing. But Heath was part of the contingency that went to Vegas that I went to Vegas with. So, and his son Riley was there, and that lamp behind him is proof positive that Heath is raising Riley properly, just like I raised my daughter properly, and she's a Bengal fan, and she was with us in Vegas. She will be with me at the Super Bowl. Riley will be with you at the Super Bowl. It's all good. So the last thing I want to touch on, obviously it's early on the injury report, and will we do the official preview later this week? We'll get more into the injury report. But Higbee was hurt in the Rams game. CJ was hurt in our championship game. Higbee, I think, is already back to practice. I'm not sure. You can put it in the comments and tell me, because I did not check their injury report, but I heard Higbee was going to play for sure. CJ was seen doing workouts on the sidelines, stretching and doing some resistance running and stuff, which is a really good sign. So we're real optimistic that he will be available. And the only other injury of note was Carmen has been out of practice for the last couple of days. So we'll have to see what that looks like this week. I'm not going to be alarmed because they have a week to play. So it can be a number of reasons why he didn't do it, but that's it. And I don't know if you have any news you want to throw in there or.
No, one thing I want to ask you, because I don't know, are any of the practices open this week? I know they came out because of the weather early. Do you know of anything?
I don't know. I know that the Bengals are traveling out here on Tuesday, and I know that they've announced the uniforms. They're going to be black jerseys, white pants, orange socks. So that's why I rocked the black jersey for this show. But yeah, I haven't heard if there's any of the practices you talk about here in Los Angeles. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. That would be interesting. I've got a packed week. I would love to, have gone down. I don't know that they're going to be open though. I'm thinking about the whole the controversy where the Patriots kind of saw the Rams walkthroughs and all that. So maybe they try to keep stuff a little on the quiet side. There's going to be media day. There's all the usual hoopla. So, and even though Sean McVay has been through this before, Zach was on the staff that played in 2018. So he's been through it. And then we also have, so these guys, it's not going to be completely new, the whole, the media walkthrough and everything, but it's good the Bengals are going through this. They seem ready. I really like our chances this week coming up. I really do. Not going to make my prediction yet, but it's kind of a preview of, I just really, really like. I think this is our year of the Tiger. There's just so much stuff converging. I'm excited. So
let's be honest. When we talked about this season before, when we saw the schedule, we were hoping for 7, 8, 9 wins. I mean, who would have thought that we would have showed up and won the 3 games already and going to the play and going to the Super Bowl? I mean, we figured that we'd have Joe maybe on his 3rd year. Before he has to sign that extension, to the promised land. So here we are a year or 2 early, and man, it feels good.
Oh, it feels great. Quick shout out to Bengals West. I know they're busting out at the seams. I've read the stuff on Facebook. If you don't follow them on Facebook, look, they're going to be converging. There are people coming up from San Diego. I mean, just looking for places to watch. I anticipate there's going to be well over 1,000 people flooding into the Eagle Rock area because the Five Line Tavern, which is their home, there's overflow restaurants. They've already lined up. So it's going to be a huge thing. So if you're not going to the game, obviously you can hit Bengals West if you're in the LA area. Also, I know that Bengal Jim is doing a tailgate somewhere near downtown. So, but I think you have to have tickets for that. I know that they're hard to get. Not quite as hard as Super Bowl tickets. Well, I guess you could if you throw out the amount of scratch that they're asking for Super Bowl tickets. I got to tell you, it's not just the face value of the tickets. These resale sites, it's 20% markup on the fees, and then state of California jumps in for 10. So you buy a $5,000 ticket, it's $6,500 when you go to check out. It's not the 5,000. So that's one of the crazy things on the ticket stuff. But I hope
I didn't tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't tell you this yet, Mark. Devin, who my buddy, flying from Phoenix to Cincinnati. His son's driving in from Missouri so they can be in town to watch it with other Bengal fans.
So they're going to watch it in Cincinnati?
So
they can't make the game, so they decided to be back in the homeland. Okay. All right. I could see that. That's another angle. I know that I've read stuff on Twitter of people who just want to be in Los Angeles. They want to be here, but it's not like when the Bengals win, it's not like the parade's going to be in Los Angeles. But no, it'll be interesting. So if you're looking for something locally, check out Bengals West. They're on Twitter. They're on Facebook. Easy to find. And there's a bunch of posts telling you about Bengal Jim's tailgate and about the Five Line events. So, yeah, just really fired up. I'm waiting. I supposedly have a ticket. I'm waiting when it's in. I believe that stuff when it's in my Ticketmaster app. So I gave the money to somebody today, and hopefully, within a couple days, I'll have it in my Ticketmaster app. I know you're watching. We're going to be there one way or another. There's being here, like you said, no hotel, no travel. Being here in Los Angeles, you just got to figure out your Uber, and that's it.
I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday that I got introduced to through another friend, and he's got access to tickets. And he says, "Don't worry, you'll be in that stadium. The question is what you're going to pay for it to get in."
Yeah.
And so there's plenty of tickets, and it's just, you're right. It's just about the price. But he said, day of, if you go down there, he will have a ticket. You may not be sitting in the best seat, but you'll be in that stadium. So my son and I are going to just head down to the stadium, whether we get in or not, and have a prayer.
Yeah, well, we're going to get, once I have my tickets, we're going to get there early. So I would suggest we get there early. We'll have some fun. There's going to be a lot of events going on. I know you need tickets to the pre-concert, but we have a great halftime show with Snoop Dogg and Mary J. Blige and stuff. So yeah, it should be, I'm so fired up. It's going to, We had a great halftime show in Vegas with Sammy Hagar, but this is this is the Super Bowl halftime show. So
because it's the year of the Tiger, baby. Hooday!
Hooday! It's the year of the Tiger. So with that, thank Heath for coming. Like I said, it's about that by fans, for fans. So I grabbed my closest fan, part of my posse. And thanks for joining me today. This is awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem, man. And I loved it. And I'm going to say hooday, everybody. And we are a week away from the game. See you at our preview later this week. Take care.
Hooday!
Hooday!